Deputy Prime Minister Abel says he is with PNC. Gulf supports small businesses. And PNG Environmental Data now available online.
This is the National EMTV News with Meriba Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is Sunday's news. If you've been following social media updates, Deputy Prime Minister Charles Abel has announced that he will remain with the Prime Minister's People's National Congress Party as they prepare for the looming vote of no confidence in the coming days. Mr. Abel had to delay a scheduled 10 a.m. press conference yesterday as intense lobbying went on behind the scenes at the Crown Hotel yesterday evening.
No major announcements were made with regards to the meeting. However, Deputy Prime Minister Charles Abel's address to the media took to a very late start. Flanked by Million Bay Governor John Luke Critton, Charles Abel said he had to remain committed to government and address the concerns raised by those who defected.
Everything I do, the sort of family I come from, the legacy we have, it's based on good Christian principles and hard work and service to the people. And I bring all these things to the considerations and the decisions that I make. And, in this difficult time, I want to say that PNC remains a solid team.
It is not clear at this stage what the government coalition will do to counter the vote of no confidence, but Mr. Abel said the camp already has 60 members secured to fight off the challenge. He has also given a commitment that the PNC-led coalition has taken into account the concerns raised by MPs who defected to the Laguna camp and that the government would work to resolve these issues.
As a team, we continue to respond to those issues. So in such a time like this, it is my duty to try and ensure that there's continuing stability in the country, and we continue to work on the many good things that our party and our coalition is doing. And we are grateful for the support of our coalition partners who continue to stand by us in times such as these.
Mr. Abel defended the Prime Minister, saying the country has problems and it is a very difficult time being a Prime Minister.
If we all played politics, if we all aspired to be Prime Ministers, I think it would make the job of being a Prime Minister and the job of bringing development even more difficult. And so it is my responsibility to stand by my brothers in this party, a party that we spent a lot of time establishing, despite some of the concerns that I have, and including my brothers that have gone across to the other side. And those concerns are legitimate, but ultimately we've got to stick together as a team and work with our coalition partners to try and make sure that there is the stability that is required to develop our country.
Anet Kora, National EMTV News.
The Gulf Provincial Government has made funds available through the National Development Bank for people who want to venture into small business. This was announced by the Gulf Governor, Chris Haiveta, recently. He said this arrangement is to help empower the people and sustain the livelihood of people in rural areas in Gulf.
The funds were made available for different sectors in the province for people to venture into small businesses such as poultry, fisheries and piggery. Governor Chris Haiveta said about 200,000 kina each were allocated for women, youth, agriculture and fisheries sectors, and the funds will be managed by the National Development Bank.
The National Development Bank has agreed to match it with another $1 million. So basically, this fund is for $2 million to be managed by the bank, because previously we've had commerce officers in the department looking after such projects, and these projects are always failures.
The funds are for people who want to venture into small businesses and not the big businesses. The governor said people who want to start small businesses can access funds of 5 to 10,000 kina each to start the business. The aim is to put money back to the pockets of the people and to help empower people in rural areas to venture into businesses.
As the saying goes, we've got political independence, then we can play all the games, but at the end of the day you have to go and make the food, gather food or make a living, and this is my provincial government's contribution to assisting our people. And we've given the funds to, I believe, the right people to assist them to do that.
The province is also the host of the Papua LNG project. He said he wants the best from the Papua LNG gas project for his province. He called on the landowners to work with the provincial government to achieve the best from the project.
But if you look at the total cake, it's 50-50. 50 to the state, which includes the government of PNG and our people, the rest of PNG, and Gulf Province and everyone in Gulf Province, including the landowners. So it's a fair agreement.
He further stressed that the Papua LNG gas agreement is a fair agreement that everyone will benefit from.
So this is why I'm saying for the landowners, please go ahead, set yourselves up. Don't think of us as enemies. We're not your enemies. We're there to get a bigger pie for all of us. Then we can fight at the development forum, not at this stage.
Rayon Lakingu National, MTV News.
St. Michael's Primary School is the fourth school in NCD to have the Healthy Teens School program conducted by the Papua New Guinea Cancer Foundation in partnership with ExxonMobil PNG. Over 100 girls and boys in grades 6, 7 and 8 took part in this program. It is a school-based cancer education and awareness program that focuses on empowering teenagers to make healthy lifestyle choices as a way to reduce their risk of getting cancer. Students also participated in a baseline survey used by the foundation to measure what students have learned from the presentations compared to what they knew before. The program will continue throughout the remainder of the year to another 5 primary schools in NCD and central provinces, including the villages of Porebada, Papa and Lealea. Marvin Pepper was presented with the keys to his new Hyundai 100 truck after winning the Paradise Foods wholesale promotion. The wholesale promotion began in March and was a joint promotion between Paradise Foods and Patrick's Wholesale. It was supposed to end in the first week of April, but because of the high numbers of entries, the promotion was extended. This is the second promotion Paradise has run this year, and we'll be running more promotions later during the year with great prizes in store for the winners.
Oh yeah, it was very exciting, and we've got the entries obviously superseded the last promotion, which we ran in February. So we are currently planning another promotion that should come out. I can't say, but it will definitely be before the year ends.
Customer from 9 Mile, Freedom Apex. According to our customers at our guys at Patrick's, where we did a promotion, they're pretty happy that this guy won. They reckon he's one of their good customers, so it's a win-win for everyone. And the customer's happy, so yeah, he gets to drive home a brand new H100. There's a lot of uses for this.
You're with National MTV News. We'll be back with more after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Individuals both in PNG and overseas can now access information from the Conservation and Environment Protection Authority's Environmental Data portal with just a click of their mouse. Papua New Guinea is a signatory to the Open Government Partnership Initiative, which is a multi-stakeholder global initiative focusing on improving government transparency, accountability and responsiveness to citizens' needs. With this initiative, the authority is one of the first government agencies to implement the government's PNG Action Plan 2018 to 2020 for the OPG.
The Conservation and Environment Protection Authority is leading the way through the Inform project in terms of environmental data management. Although the portal has been live for some time, it is now officially made available to anybody who wants to read or learn more about PNG's conservation and environmental efforts.
He has thoroughly identified the need for centralized government data management system to collect, collate, and to systematically store and publish environmental data and reports. Here is a platform for us to take advantage of. I must state that a data repository without a good use has no value.
Proper management of national datasets, particularly in the environment sector, has lacked consistency and standardization. PNG and 13 other Pacific Island countries developed the INFORM project with the Secretariat of the Pacific Regional Environment Program, also known as SPREP, to address this issue.
Other Pacific Island countries can benefit from the enhanced user interface. So the initial installation of the data portal was functional, but not particularly attractive. And with the help of UNDP, we've made the PNG data portal the nicest looking one in the region, and we're looking to roll that out for the other 13 countries. So thank you for PNG for leading on that process.
This portal development was a tripartite collaborative effort between the authority, SPREP, and UNDP.
To all the government agencies who are here, and the private sector and the public to engage meaningfully with the SIPA to determine how best you can contribute to using this platform. The Open Data Portal improves in open government, and real open data improves the economic status of societies.
Data sharing encourages transparency and accountability, promotes collaboration between key stakeholders, and strengthens partnerships. Lilian Sopera-Kenea, National EMTV News.
Secretary for Commerce and Industry, Andrew Liliura, has reached out to the media to clarify allegations made against him. Liliura was referring to an article published by one of the dailies accusing him of misappropriation of funds. According to Mr. Liliura, he believes that it was done by individuals in the senior management within the department. He said blatantly that the allegation was not true and he has nothing to hide.
And the people of Papua New Guinea, that this reporting is not true and it's false and it's been misreported. We have every facts and every figures. There's nothing to hide, and it's in the system and it's all been accounted for. It has been reported in the paper that there are certain millions that has gone missing, roughly about 2.3. And also it has been reported that there were some funds that was paid to my family accounts. I'm not telling the country and the people that these are all lies. These are all not true. We have records of everything.
34 public servants across PNG are the first to be awarded the new Diploma of Leadership and Governance at the Pacific Institute of Leadership and Governance, also known as PILAG. The diploma was developed and delivered as a partnership between PILAG and the Australian Public Services Commission. Among the graduates was Margaret Kumbun, an elementary coordinator at Nuku District in West Sepik, who said it was a privilege to have learnt alongside public service peers from around the country. PILAG is committed to the development of public service leaders by providing vocational training that meets government needs and is forging a new generation of ethical, capable leaders within the country's public service. Overseas-based PNG singer, songwriter Alison Joyce is on a visit here to promote her new single. She speaks of music and its evolution, especially for Papua New Guineans.
Alison, whose beautiful voice can still be heard on the airwaves in PNG, was recently in town to promote a new single.
Wow, that's going back a long way.
She was the former host of Digicel Stars, the show prior to Vocal Fusion, and made a guest appearance on MTV's popular music show.
I remember when I lost my mind.
Alison has also written and recorded many songs. One of her personal favorite is titled Courage.
Exciting. That's really, really exciting. I cannot wait for that song to be released. I wanted to write a song that was relatable and that brought some light and some heart to this, the domestic violence issue in Papua New Guinea. So approaching it from that angle, it really helped me to find a voice.
She says working and collaborating music with local artists in PNG has always been interesting in the sense it helps artists grow.
So
having the opportunity to come back to Port Moresby and perform is always wonderful, and I get to perform with, my favourite musician, Michael Tamate, and Muku on the congos, so getting those boys back together is always wonderful. If you're an up-and-coming musician and you have a group, you should get a little profile together and send it to every single corporate company in PNG, because they're always looking for artists.
Apart from music, she has written a book which is currently selling at Theodist. She is also studying a psychology degree in Brisbane.
It's called Mr. Maple and the Most Marvellous Machine. It's about a crazy inventor from PNG who, creates all these wonderful things, and all the proceeds go to charities. That's one thing. I'm currently doing a psychology degree. That's something completely different from music.
When asked about the future of music in PNG, here is what she had to say.
I know artists like B-Rad and some of the other local guys are doing such a good job to promote local artists, and they have studios that you can hire, and they're great producers, fantastic producers. So there are opportunities, but I think it would be a great idea for us to all come together rather than trying to do it all separately. And that way we have that huge support for artists. We can build a studio where people can come and record their demos. People can release their music through a Papua New Guinean portal.
Godwin Eki, National EMTV News.
Here with National EMTV News this Sunday. When we come back, we take a closer look at the latest political developments within the last 24 hours with Scott Wider. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. As Deputy Prime Minister Charles Abel said last night, these are difficult political times, and might we add, interesting political times as well. While the country held its breath over 8 hours waiting for an announcement from Charles Abel, he told journalists that he would remain with the PNC. At about the same time, when he called for a news conference in the morning, two camps, opposition and the Laguna camp, merged into a group of 57. Of course, the numbers will play out on the floor of Parliament. This week, on a closer look, we go back over the events of the last 24 hours.
Let's start from yesterday in the morning when Charles Abel's people called the media, alerting them to a news conference that was supposed to happen at 10 a.m. Crews were deployed, but journalists waited the whole day. By 6 p.m., still no word of a press conference. What we do know is that there was intense lobbying behind the scenes, and the details of which remain in the realm of rumor and speculation. It's something the mainstream media does not readily delve into without enough evidence. While all the waiting was going on at Crown Plaza, the opposition camp, led by Patrick Pruach and the mob, got on a few buses and headed over to Laguna Hotel. Laguna is where James Marape and his lot are camped. The opposition group, numbering 24, didn't waste time. Immediately, they announced the merger that had already happened and set about holding a news conference that the media had been waiting for. Their numbers, 57.
People like me and Patrick take the limelight because we're having access to the microphone. It's really these leaders at the back make this possible. Pastor, gratitude, appreciation to every one of us here, now 57 of us in the house. They are making this change happen for us.
And I have every confidence in this young breed of leaders that these leaders will take back PNG and take PNG to the new heights.
The men who previously contributed to the Prime Minister's PNC coalition now against him. Like all political gatherings, promises have to be made.
Look at that. I guess all of you are lost for words,
This call for resignation wasn't influenced by me. Captain, and I'm retracting that. So I was combined Let me say, every one of them here, equal to be Prime Minister.
Patrick Pruach, former forest minister, former treasurer, told the media that all project agreements concluded recently would be reviewed, and it was time the people of Papua New Guinea got their fair share of benefits.
And insofar as the benefits is concerned, I think it's about time for our government to take some bold measures to address them. And I want to assure our citizens, particularly the resource owners, in that this government will do all it can to ensure that Papua New Guineans become greater beneficiaries of the resource development in our country.
It's a narrative that is yet to be proven. Another narrative has also shifted. No more opposition, and Laguna camp, Patrick Pruach called it the alternative government.
We've left the opposition in chancery. We've now joined the alternative government led by...
And we are going to provide a good government that will provide that link and save the country for us and our future. Thank you very much.
The concerns that caused these MPs to leave the comforts of ministerial posts, as they put it, range from dissatisfactions over project benefits, lack of payment of DSIP funds, and for the governors, they felt that provincial governments were losing power because of district development authorities. The delay of the local level government elections has also contributed to the dissatisfaction among governors. For the Hela governor, Philip Undialu, he produced a long list of points that he was unhappy about, including LNG benefits. Point is, they left for many different reasons. For the 8-member PNC faction that defected, led by former Health Minister Pukatemu, they had asked the Prime Minister to resign to stem the exit of PNC MPs. They said the PM refused, and that triggered the movement. Back at the Crown Plaza, Charles Abel finally emerged just after 7 p.m. No other PNC members in tow except for Milne Bay Governor John Luke Cretin, who'd been sick for some time. Everyone held their breath for the big announcement, and Charles Abel said he was sticking with the People's National Congress Party, and that based on his family's legacy and his Christian principles, he was going to remain committed to the PNC cause.
Otherwise, basically, government remains intact at this point in time, and we're ready to take on the challenges as they come.
Charles Abel claimed the PNC camp had 60 members, secured and ready for a vote of no confidence challenge. And like that of the Laguna camp, the numbers are only valuable and useful depending on how the members move on the floor of Parliament.
This is our opportunity now to correct the mistakes of the past. And I want our country to know that your new government is in place.
So the Laguna camp wants the PM to resign. It's their biggest concern. But it is highly unlikely that Peter O'Neill will relinquish the PM's post anytime soon, or the PNC leadership. But if he does, Parliament will vote this Wednesday. If he doesn't, the Laguna camp will file a vote of no confidence motion and determine the next MP with a show of numbers.
You're with Sunday's News. We go for another break. When we come back, some sporting updates in Trukai Sports. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Registering players to the Papua New Guinea Rugby Football League is important if your competition is affiliated. Port Moresby Suburban League is confident that they can have all the players registered to the PNG RFL so they can be insured to play the game.
It was a humid day, but the overnight rain was damaging for the Port Moresby Suburban League. The muddy conditions at the Connie Tigers Oval had the surface looking like a sty. But despite the conditions, the game must go on. For the love of rugby league, fans turned out to catch the action down at the suburb of North Waigani. The hill outside of the field, a great spot to enjoy some local rugby league action. The competition is in the third round of the proper season with 16 A-grade teams registered, but they are yet to have all the players registered under the Papua New Guinea Rugby Football League.
2 or 3 days already registered their players. But because of the extension of the PNG Environmental deadline for player registration to end of this month, we have been given at least the grace period for this month to pay up.
Chairman of the Port Moresby Suburban League, Boski Koke, is confident that teams will register their players on time, as having players registered to the PNG RFL is important for their insurance.
A player must be registered, including the technical officers of the particular club that is registered or affiliated to the league. The purpose of registration, basically, in my own understanding, is it's for the insurance of the players, even the event that they sustain any serious injuries or maybe death.
So far, only the senior men's teams have been taking part in the competition, with their other 2 divisions to join them in the next 2 rounds.
By round 5, we should be having the under-20s and women's competition kicking off.
The women's division needs more attention from the competition, with interest slow to pick up. But the competition management is willing to put up 2 teams to pull in the interest of women in the city.
Basically, this is to bring women's interest into the game. And then clubs who are interested to bring the women's team, they can register their own teams. Are we also inviting women that don't have any club registered with the league, but if they have a team there, they can always come and register and play under the league.
Fidelis Sukina, National, EMTV Sports.
To some sport abroad, and the Crusaders will have to play without Sam Whitelock next weekend in Pretoria as they rebound from a close call against the Sharks. Whitelock will stay home with his wife and newborn baby. After drawing 21-all last night, the competition leaders need to step up without their captain.
Last-minute tries to seal draws aren't usually part of the Crusaders' narrative. Their 25-game home winning streak is over, and it's served as a small reality check.
You have to get better along the way or you're going to get beaten.
They lacked discipline, conceding 8 penalties to Sharks kicker Kerwin Bosch, and failed to capitalise on 70% of territory and possession.
Yeah, you have to be really disciplined. We made them made a lot of tackles. We played some great footy, but we probably could have used the ball a bit better and how we could have kicked tactically. Yeah.
The Sharks' defence shut down the momentum of the Crusaders, who were minus Richie McCaw and Sam Whitelock, for long periods. But it's the normally dominant Crusaders set piece that's a big worry. The scrum was penalised regularly for the 2nd straight week against the South African side, a day before taking off to tour the Republic.
There's a bit of interpretation we just have to get better at and make sure we're on the same page.
Plus, their famed line-out drive was shut down.
Tremendous defence from the Sharks over there.
We teams are practising that all week on us and know that if they stop that, they've got a good chance of getting the results.
In saying all of that, the Crusaders still scored 3 tries to 0, saved a draw, grabbed a bonus point, and maintained their buffer at the top of Super Rugby.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of Trukai Sports when we return.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Mark Ryden's influence at the Wellington Phoenix will live on. His recommendation helping old friend Ufuk Talay replace him as coach. The pair played together at Sydney FC, but Ryden's Phoenix farewell last night didn't go to plan.
Rudin would have wanted. Taking the Phoenix to their first playoff match in 4 years, only to fall 3-1 at the first hurdle.
I believe we're in a better place today as a football club and as a player than we were in day 1 in pre-season. I firmly believe that.
The job now falls to Ufuk Talay, a good friend of Rudin's.
We asked Mark's opinion about Ufi, and he was extremely positive about it. We talked to a number of people we trusted in Australia and New Zealand. Mark was one of those.
However, like Rudin, Tally's family is based in Sydney, but the club is confident that won't be a problem, despite it being the very reason for Rudin's departure.
We're talking to him about that now. Certainly he will be based in Wellington. Once we're working through with him in terms of his family and what that means.
It was a bittersweet farewell for Rudin, the victory netting 2 goals before Roy Krishna's 19th of the season gave the Phoenix hope with just 25 minutes to play.
Oh, Krishna!
Hope wouldn't be enough, their efforts not helped by a red card to Mikhail Kopczynski.
Well, it's got a history of red cards, this fixture, and there is another one.
Then kicking off a chain reaction. Victory coach Kevin Muscat and Phoenix assistant Paul Gothard both yellow carded for a verbal exchange. For Mark Rudin, his run is over.
The momentum's there, there's a platform there, there's a process in place. Like I said, there are pillars in place. This club will keep going in the right direction.
Now a new coach and new season awaits to see if the Phoenix will rise again.
Shot put star Tom Walsh has opened his Diamond League season in Doha in the UAE with a solid second place behind the Olympic champion.
Just flown in from New Zealand 2 days earlier, Tom Walsh wasn't at his best.
A little chuckle there.
He would improve to 22.06 metres for second place.
Just inside the white tape. Yeah, it's legal.
It was good to get a season best of 22 metres out there and get back over that line again. It's been a while, so that was good, but a little bit frustrating as I think I'm in better shape.
Winning by 7 centimetres was American Ryan Corser, Walsh's great rival and current Olympic champion.
And he's done it again, straight over 22 metres, very much the form athlete here.
One could only imagine what Athletics Supremo Seb Coe was thinking as the controversial Caster Semenya lined up in the 800 metres. Her appearance coming just days after she lost a landmark case against athletics governing body over plans to limit testosterone levels in female runners.
Is this something of an act of defiance?
Semenya was in a class of her own, winning her 30th 800-metre race in a row.
Action speaks louder than words. For me, I always want to inspire the world. I just want to show them, nothing is impossible.
Under the new rules, Semenya will have to take medication to lower her testosterone levels if she wants to compete in any races from the 400 metres to the mile.
In 1989, against all odds, the first all-women crew aboard Maiden completed the toughest ocean challenge, the Whitbread Around the World race. Yesterday, the iconic yacht returned to Auckland on a much longer but equally challenging journey.
A serene welcome on a hazy Auckland morning. But for Maiden, the vision is still crystal clear.
Anything is possible. To be inspired, to find some goals that really turn you on with passion and emotion, and that will give you the determination to drive through and succeed.
But Maiden's journey 3 decades ago was anything but plain sailing. Skipper Tracy Edwards and her all-female crew defied the odds and completed the world's toughest ocean race, overcoming prejudice and obstacles of sexism. For New Zealand's only crew member, rigger Amanda Swan-Neal, it was an emotional reunion. She remembers the challenges only too well.
They just didn't give you the confidence to do what you wanted to do. It wasn't so much they didn't tell you couldn't do it, they just made it a challenge.
A challenge the women embraced. While Sir Peter Blake's Steinlager took overall honours, Maiden won 2 of the 6 legs. It was only fitting Blake's 2 Whitbread yachts of 1986 and 89 flanked Maiden's journey into Auckland.
We had Lion, New Zealand, and Steinlager right there beside us. 2 very masculine projects when they raced around the world, full of 30 girls on each boat.
Renowned Kiwi skipper Sharon Ferris-Choate has joined the iconic yacht on the Maiden Factor Tour, a 3-year journey raising funds and promoting girls' education worldwide, while Maiden has inspired the next generation of Kiwi women to chase round-the-world glory.
They created incredible pathways for female sailors growing up. It's created incredible role models for us to look after too.
Women need to start supporting women and being role models and being mentors and helping girls.
The Maiden Factor, ensuring a good education and a fulfilling life is a rite of passage for all the world's women.
And that ends Trukai Sports. When we come back, we take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Money Plus. With you always.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Port Moresby, cloudy with some showers developing with a top of 30 degrees. 30 degrees as well, and showers expected in the rest of the region in Daru, Kerma, Alotau and Popondetta. To the Momasa region, a shower or two expected in Ley and Wau. Rain and showers and a top of 30 degrees for Madang, Wewak and Vanimore. To the New Guinea Islands region, rain showers in Lorangau and a top of 30 degrees. 30 degrees as well, and showers expected in Kavieng and Kimbe and Buka as well, and showers and a top of 31 for Kokopo and Rabaul. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen can expect rain and thunderstorms over the next 24 hours with a top of 24 degrees. Rain and fog developing in Goroka with a top of 23 degrees. 23 degrees as well, and rain and fog developing for Kundiawa. Rain and fog and a top of 21 for Mendi and Wabeg. A look at the forecast for small ships, but there is a renewal of a strong wind warning. Strong southeasterly winds of 25 to 34 knots are expected to continue for the next 24 hours, causing rough seas and high sea swells. All small craft and boats are advised to take the necessary precautions before and after going out to sea. A look at the forecast now, and waters of Samurai Island to Cape Vogel to Finschhafen, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. Waters of Bogia to Wewak, Aitape, Vanimore and the northern PNG Indonesian border. Waters of West New Britain with waters of Long Island to Madang, Bogia, including Manam Island, and waters of Finschhafen through Vitias and Dampier Strait, including Siasi Islands, to Long Island, and waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands, sea 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait to Daru to Kiwai Island to Kerma, Yule Island, Hood Point to Samurai Island, seas 1.5 to 2 meters. Waters of East New Britain to New Island and Bougainville, seas 2 to 2.5 meters. And waters of Manus, including all its islands, seas 2 to 3 meters. And a look at the ocean forecast for PNG areas. Coral Sea sees moderate with southeasterly winds at 15 to 20 knots. Solomon Sea sees slight with moderate to southeast to southwesterly winds at 10 to 20 knots. Bismarck Sea sees rough with northwesterly winds at 25 to 34 knots. And the Pacific Ocean sees moderate to rather rough with northwest to westerly winds at 15 to 25 knots.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by Money Plus. With you always.
And that has been the news, sport and weather for today, Sunday the 5th of May 2019. On behalf of the EMTV News team, pleasant viewing. Have a safe working week. Good night.